Well, the long-running rumor for Spider-Man No Way Home was that Charlie Cox would appear as Matt Murdock, returning to the role from Netflix. Now that the movie is out and the secret has been revealed, the actor himself has finally addressed his MCU debut in Spider-Man No Way Home and talked a little bit about the secrecy surrounding the project. Let's dig into what Charlie Cox had to say and break it all down. He clearly has future hopes for the character. Now, before we dive in though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, the huge giveaway. We're going to give away an Oculus Quest 2 at 50,000 subscribers. All you need to do to get in on this giveaway is be a subscriber and leave us a comment. Also, while we're at it, make sure you check out that free week of Skillshare down below. It's a pretty cool way for you to develop all of your superhero skills for that never-ending war on crime, all while not diving too deep into your pockets. Plus, it really does help the channel, so we really appreciate it. Well, we're going to talk about some spoilers from Spider-Man No Way Home. If you haven't seen it yet, I'd click away, but it's been out more than a month, so I think that window is clearly closed. Now, as we all know, in Spider-Man No Way Home, Charlie Cox returned to the role of Matt Murdock for an amazing scene that featured the Man Without Fear offering Peter Parker some legal advice and, of course, catching a brick. Now, unfortunately, that was all we got, and we do think he might return in another deleted scene, but since then we've heard about some future plans for the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, recently, Charlie Cox was talking with Supernova, Comic-Con, and Gaming, and this was his first interview since the release. And they asked him quite a bit about the movie and keeping the role secret. This is what he had to say. It was a nightmare. Obviously, it's now known that I'm in Spider-Man, so yeah, but more than that, I don't know, and the little I do know, I'm obviously not going to say. But the only thing I will say is that for a long time I was asked this question and I genuinely had not heard anything. For years, I've been asked questions about returning as Daredevil, and the genuine truth was I had 100% assumed that was gone and that ship just sailed. I didn't hear from any of the folks at Marvel for a couple of years. It does now look like I was lying for a long time. I actually wasn't. I was only lying for a little bit. You don't want to spoil it for people. Now, as for this future in the MCU, the Daredevil star did talk a little bit to his hopes of being a huge part of this interconnected world. He said, "The one thing that being in the MCU allows that we couldn't really do with the Netflix stuff is that I can now interact with other MCU characters. Crossovers are the thing I would like to do next. There are some really interesting stories there that I'd love for the character to explore. I don't want to sound greedy, but I hope I get to do loads more. I hope I get to be involved way more for many years. I hope it never ends. I hope it just gets to the point where people are like, you're too old to be playing this part." Now, I have to say, this is the kind of enthusiasm that I love to see from an actor. Clearly, Charlie Cox loves playing Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and this is what you need to keep the actor engaged, keep him coming back, and keep him connected to the fans. Now, there are tons of rumors swirling around that say Daredevil will appear in a couple of Disney Plus shows coming up, specifically Echo and She-Hulk, and I have the sneaking suspicion these are already done deals and he will appear. I suspect actually Echo will be somewhat of a soft season 4 of Daredevil, involving not just Echo and Daredevil, but Wilson Fisk and maybe some of the other people at Nelson and Murdoch like Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. These characters were a big part of that Daredevil series, and I can't imagine bringing back Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox, and not bringing back Deborah Ann Wool or Eldon Henson as Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. Heck, there were a lot of other characters in that show I wouldn't mind seeing returning, but we'll have to wait and see, but these two I think are the most important. Now, obviously, if we get any new word from Charlie Cox on returning to the role of Daredevil, or any Marvel projects we hear about he might be appearing in, we're going to bring it to you right away. But I gotta know what you guys think. Are you happy to see Charlie Cox return to the role of Daredevil in the MCU? And who would you like to see him team up with first? Obviously, I'm going to go with the classic and say Spider-Man. Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.